Good evening. Good evening. When it's Tuesday, you know it's the Raw Leadership Talk. And we are glad to be with you today in this Raw Leadership Talk as we discuss about trust building in the community. It will be good to know from you, where are you watching us from? Where are you tuning in from? Stay on standby, even as we listen to this instrumental. Today we are with Junaid Feisal and Judy Wambugu discussing about trust building in the community. It will be good to hear from you, even as you engage with us. Where are you watching us from? Are you in Nairobi, in Mombasa, in Kisumu, or in any of the other 44 counties of Kenya? Or are you outside Kenya, in diaspora? Atambugwa says, online from Kajiado. Welcome, Arthur. Where are you tuning in from? It's going to be a wonderful discussion today, even as we look to learn from one another on matters trust building. World Leadership Talk is brought to you by the African Center for Public Speaking. Devi, watching us from Botswana. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you for joining in. Salem Loro, tuning in from Nairobi. We're glad to have you here, brother. Glad to have you here. In a moment, we'll begin our discussion. Wonderful discussion today we have. Thank you very much. Hey, my people, how are you doing? Judy, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you, Dan, for having me.
Glad to have you. And Junaid, you can say something to our viewers.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's indeed a deep pleasure.
Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I told you today, we are with Judy and Junaid Feisal. Junaid Feisal is from Mombasa, and Judy is right here in Nairobi. And Judy has been the Trust Building Program Manager since the time we started the Trust Building Program in 2019. And Junaid was one of the active participants who went all the way to the TOT, or the Training of Trainers in Mombasa. I don't know, maybe let's begin with Judy. Judy, how was your experience in running such magnitude of a program here in Kenya?
Thank you, Dan. My experience, I would say, has been one amazing experience, one of a lifetime, I would say, because despite the fact that we've been reaching out to other people to build trust, it's been a program that has impacted me personally, and I've quite had a lot of change within me. And I realized that there are so many things that I'd not thought about or stopped in life and given some time to think about. But yet the program gave me the safe space to go deeper into myself and also be able to search and soul search myself and also identify these particular things, deal with them, and also be able to reach out to other people using myself as an example. So for me, it's been quite an experience, both for me and also I believe to the people that I've been able to reach out to. It's been an amazing experience also in terms of change. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Junaid, what would you say has been your experience in being a participant in the Trust Building Program?
The Trust Building Program has been a program that has really been an eye-opener to me, Dan. In fact, it gave me a family away from family. And beyond that, I'm very grateful because we were able to interact with people from different social classes, people from different backgrounds, and we got to build trust beyond just people who we know. So I'm very
Mhm.
grateful, and as we move, we get more knowledge, and I'm very grateful for that. Dan.
Thank you very much. Judy,
Yes.
you've been part of the program, running the program right in Garissa and Mombasa. Maybe you may want to tell our viewers, even though you are part of the administration team, how was your initial experience about going to a place like Garissa, and later when you came to discover what Garissa is? You know, it's easy for people to go to Mombasa; it's a tourist destination. But what about going to Garissa, meeting people there, and building trust with them? How was it?
Wow, that's quite a powerful question for me, because I've had a powerful transformation on the
Mhm.
same. Because initially, even when I was told that I would go to Garissa, being one of the administrators for the program, I didn't have a good night for about 1 week.
Mhm.
It was
Mhm.
just I was struggling to just imagine how would I go to a place that is all over the news, with
Mhm.
news that are not very pleasant to the ears, not to the
Yes.
eyes sometimes. Although I came to realize that some of these things are so different when you get on the ground. And when I
Mhm.
got to Garissa and was able to interact with people in Garissa
Mhm.
and
Yes.
see even the administration of Garissa, how they're well, organized in how they're doing their things, because we were able to meet different people on different levels. And
Mhm.
I was surprised by what I found in Garissa. It's
Yes.
such a quiet town. It's such a town with friendly people. It's
Mhm.
a town where you'll go. I didn't even know that there were big hotels. Some of these things you would assume because you've
Yes.
never been there. And I've been depending probably on hearsay from people, things
Yes.
that are baseless. But when I got to Garissa, it was a totally different experience. Today, and even you are a witness that if you give me choices to go run the program elsewhere and put Garissa on the list, Garissa is always my first choice, because I think I had an experience of a lifetime that uh, I never thought Garissa was like that. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Wonderful thoughts right there. Mediatrix Shikoli, following from Busia. Thank you, my sister, for joining in. Dorothy Mundui says she is connected. Thank you very much. Junaid, uh, what would you say was the most impacting thing in the program in building trust together with people of different faith? You being a Muslim, coming into interaction with young people and also mature adults who are older than you, trying to build trust. What was the most impactful thing for you, Junaid?
The most impactful thing is actually from all the people, the pastors we had there, the young individuals who were there, and once they shared their human stories, because there were
Mhm.
also sessions where people were giving their story based on the experiences they had in life, and
Mhm.
it gave us a connection, a humane connection, that
Mhm.
yes, you can be a Christian, yes, you can be a Muslim, yes, you can be a Hindu, but we have a common element as a people, and that's
Mhm.
just humane. Having that
Mhm.
humanity is what really was impactful to me, because just sitting with people from totally different faith, people who have been raised with a different mindset.
Seem to have lost Junaid right there. Junaid is going to be right back and he'll continue with the conversation. We seem to have lost him. Back to you, Judy. Uh, what has been the
And
most impactful thing in as far as your connection with the trust building program, building trust with Muslims, even as a facilitator and an administrator?
Thank you, Dan. And as I said, I think part of this program, the biggest part for me and the biggest impact that I've felt
Mhm.
is my own
Mhm.
personal transformation. And before
Yes.
the program, yes, I knew I had a wider picture of peace. And
Yes.
when I think about peace, the program gave me an opportunity to think, despite the fact that we are at peace and we are staying together in peace, do we trust each other? Am I comfortable to go into my Muslim brother's house or sister's house and be comfortable and have a meal and just stay without, without judgments that are baseless? And I think one of the major things that the program has done for me personally is to be able to face my own unconscious bias against people of different faiths. And before I joined the program, I didn't have an actual friend who I would call a Muslim friend, who I would probably visit and have honest conversations with. But during the program and when we've been running it, we made deliberate decisions to make friendships, to extend love, to extend our hearts to other people, to open our hearts and minds so that we are able to understand the other side of the other people who do not believe in the same things that we do. And I think that I made a big step and reached out, made a very close friend right now. And I always say that initially, when I went to Mombasa, I always had to book a hotel. But these days, I always say, when I go to Mombasa, I have a sister, a Muslim sister, who is my sister, so close to me and so dear to me, that I'll go to her house and we will have a good time, a beautiful time. And I say, even creating those personal friendships, for me, is such a big milestone in the journey of building trust, because I believe trust begins with me and change starts with me. And I have to be the change that I want to see in the world. So I have to make those steps to get there. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Wonderful thoughts right there. Junaid, before we lost you, you were telling us something about the most impactful thing as far as this program is concerned, or you're concerned.
Yes. I would like to give my apology. And now at least I'm a bit more settled. The vehicle was moving. So as I was saying, yes, just having that perspective where you're getting different perspectives from people from different faiths and different backgrounds, it makes you connect at a different level. Because beyond the differences that you have, those biases that an individual inherits because of culture or society, you get to see that beyond this, we're actually just humans, and we correlate, and we are one. You see, so as I said at the beginning, I made family. Dan, we never knew each other, but right now I can say, I can't imagine life without my brother Dan or my sister Judy. So yes, that's what I would like to say, Dan.
Thank you very much. Let me get to hear from you, Junaid. Before you joined the program, did you have your own unconscious bias about people of different faith from yours, people of different ethnic group from yours, and how did you deal with that?
Okay, I'm very grateful because in my family we have people also in different faiths like Christianity, and we've also intermarried quite a lot. Beyond that, also from my primary level to high school level, I've been in Christian institutions. So with the element of biasness, when we were very young at primary level, and I used to go to a Catholic church where we were forced to go to church. So we used to, we feel like, why are we being forced to go to church? And
because you are in a Catholic school.
Yes, we were in a Catholic school. So it brought that, why can't they just give us our space? That's when we were young. But then I never got why my father put me in a Catholic institute. But and when I went to tell him why should I go to church, And Mzee, he was a very nice individual. You know, he used to just say, nenda tu, kwani ukienda unakatika mkono, ukienda unapua kitu, nenda kasikize tu. So I'm very grateful based on that background and based on having family from different faiths. Coexistence for me, alhamdulillah, has been something that's natural. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Junaid, for those thoughts. Judy, now the concept of the program has been changed a little bit, not really changed, but just additional into now as we go into 2022, looking into the aspect of inter-ethnic in this nation, apart from interfaith. Do you think religion and ethnicity plays a big role in dividing people in this nation?
I would say absolutely. That is my own view, because prior even to doing the trust building program, I've been involved in other programs, still volunteering for the Initiatives of Change organization. And I have worked in the grassroots with people of different ethnicity, and the divides are just huge, I would say. The other thing is, when we began the program, we've been walking a journey of building trust with certain people from the ground, both in Garissa and Mombasa, and of course part of Nairobi, because our team is also distributed in the entire country. And when we were trying to get the views of the people and the needs on ground, I think inter-ethnic issues or ethnic divides have been one of the things that people talked about in a big way and in a huge way. And even as we were doing the interfaith trust building, most of the time you would find the conversation going into a direction where it's about cultural issues. It's not just about the religion. You're talking about the religion as a topic, for example, if I would say. But when you go deeper to the subtopics, you will find that there are cultural issues, there are ethnic issues, there are class issues within. And yet, for me personally, I felt that it is important if we would bring this giant out, because sometimes you would probably think that you're dealing with the actual problem, but the people themselves will now start bringing out the roots and shoots of the actual issues on ground. So for me, I feel it's a relevant issue that we should deal with, the ethnic issue, because I think everything is intertwined. Even if we are in different religions, you're either Muslim, you're Christian, you're Hindu, and within us also we have the intra-religious issues. And we all also come from different ethnic backgrounds, different cultures, different beliefs. So I think it's just a mixed pot of different things that people need to have safe spaces to have these conversations, so that we can be able to move forward together as a team and as a family of human beings, not attaching ourselves to some of these things that we belong to or believe in or are sort of wired to, but now move forward as human beings and relate with each other as human. Yes.
Wonderful thoughts right there, Judy. Bernadine Mundu is saying, following from Mombasa. Thank you very much, my sister. Caroline Wanga following from Mombasa. Welcome, Caro. Cleopadia following from South Africa. You're very much welcome, my sister Cleo. Boniface Wambugu says, nice conversation, keep it up. Desire Tuishemeze says, following from Burundi. Thank you very much. Junaid, you think you as a community leader, you've been a student leader, worked with different politicians, do you think religion and ethnicity, it's a major problem, and that we need to begin dialogues across this divide so that we can be able to deal with these issues in this country.
Yes, yes. I really do feel there's a necessity. There's a big gap. When you look at the communities, especially in the coastal region, you find that there's a lot of biasness where a person can be a Christian and you judge him for that, and not necessarily the individual himself. So beyond that, even in Nairobi, when you come, you find there is that biasness. When an individual has a kanzu, already there's that remark of, hey, is this guy a terrorist? You know? So really, what I really feel is we need to bridge that gap, and the best way to bridge that gap is through trust building. Once people get to speak, once people get to sit, once people get to understand different elements from the different faiths, the different tribes. Then from there, they can grow a foundation of trust, and that is when you get development. Yes.
Wonderful thoughts, wonderful thoughts. And Judy, there has been a perception, there's been a perception that that we need to build peace, and a lot of organizations are doing peace building. What do you think is the importance of going further into trust building and not just settling there, existing peacefully?
What I would say is these are two brothers, peace and trust. They are people of the same family. But sometimes people tend to merge the two. And probably we as people think that when there's peace, actually there's trust, which I personally found out not to be true. Because peace can be the blanket that covers everything under. But when you go to the nitty-gritties of the actual issues, there's no trust at all. And that I would give a small example that happens here, just outside my house, where there's a mosque across the road. And there's one day where a certain guy is coming to do his prayers, because I think he was coming from somewhere and he got there near the mosque, and he just put his mat down and he was praying. There has never been an issue because we are a community that is mixed. There are Muslims and Christians here, so many of them. We are a community that is good, we're mixed. But I saw people, stranded and standing and, just wondering. And a certain person called the police and said, there's a suspicious guy here who is having some water and a mat. And the police came with a car and it was parked just right next to the guy. And you know what happened? This man proceeded with his prayer. He finished, folded his mat, and walked away. And I thought that, there's a lot of things that people do not know on ground. We could be having peace, as a whole. But when it comes to trust, it's something that is more deeper. That how do I trust my brother Junaid, who's been now my friend since the conception of the trust building program? And I know that Junaid, when it comes to this time, he needs to pray. It's a genuine prayer. I am not suspicious of anything. Now I know. But I think also there's a lot of sort of ignorance on our part as people, because we don't want to know why exactly is this happening. But we want to judge based on our unconscious bias, and also sometimes based on things that we call hearsay from other people that are baseless. They have no ground. So I feel that there's a difference between peace and trust. You can live in peace, but if you do not make deliberate effort to know the other person, to understand them, to reach out to them, to open up your heart, to be ready to be a change maker, and build trust, then we will live in peace, but we will not get to a point where we can trust each other as human beings.
Wonderful, powerful thoughts right there. Thank you very much. Zachary Sami tuned in from Qatar. He says, great topic, coach. William Mwaga says, following. Dorothy says, powerful insights right there. Junaid, even as we come to the close of this session today, this broadcast, what will be your parting shot? What will be your parting shot?
My parting shot, first, I would like to say Eid Mubarak. I should have begun with that today. Yes, is our Eid day. If I was able to share biryani through the screen, I would. Yes, but the main thing that I would really want to focal on is as human beings, we need to develop trust. We need to communicate. If we communicate, we get to understand each other. If we get to understand each other, we get to build the trust. So let's not just keep our mindset. I believe that as a human being, the difference between a human being and an animal is the brain and the mindset. If we're able to groom that mindset and ensure that we are more accommodative, like the way I'm accommodative with my sister Judy, because we sat together, we got to understand each other. The way I relate with Dan, despite our age gap, despite our difference in religion, despite our ethnicity, there is that trust and there is that correlation. So my advice is, as humans, we need to groom our mindset to be more accommodative, more understanding. Put yourself in the other person's shoes, but also we don't have to. We have to realize that we're in a cruel world, Dan, and there's a lot of nasty things happening everywhere around the world. So we also need to be very careful. You see, very careful as we move as a people. That really is my advice to our audience.
Thank you very much, Junaid. Judy, what will be your parting shot today, even as we bring this broadcast to an end?
What I always say is that I myself, I have to be the change I want to see in the world. And I see myself from the inside, having been lucky to get those safe spaces to change myself. I see myself as a manufacturing company. And of course, you can decide whether you want to produce goods that will be toxic to the public or produce products that will be useful and good, that will add value to the people. So I choose to do good deeds, and I call on other people to join us in this journey to build trust, because we are in Kenya. God has put us all here together, different ethnicities, different religion, different race, different, class. And I believe that if we all make a deliberate decision to be amazing human beings, I think we will make the world a better place for everybody, despite the differences. Yes.
Wonderful thoughts there. Grateful enough to you, Judy and Junaid, for having accepted to be part of this conversation. Peter Karori says, wonderful. And we are glad that even as we bring this broadcast to an end, it's been an insightful moment connecting with people and deliberating on matters trust. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to believe that you have enjoyed this broadcast. Every Tuesday, same place, same time. Let's keep educating each other. Let's keep equipping each other. Let's keep impacting each other. If you have time, you can join us on Thursday for the Nasaa za Uongozi. Same time, same place, as we inspire each other. May God bless you and have a wonderful evening.